Search Engine Journal states that a bad BBB rating does not affect your rankings, but how can that be if we're trying to establish expertise, authority, and trust? Isn't that synonymous with the BBB?
Yes.
It's interesting.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I think people may have heard me previously speak about something that I refer to as Google speak.
Mhm.
Google is going to openly say that a BBB rating is not in the algorithm. What's that mean? It's not in the algorithm. There's no weighted average called BBB that is going to be a number to support your ranking. But understand Google has Google Speak. And I believe what they're saying is we are not going to promote the BBB and cause companies to sign up with the BBB and pay the BBB money in order to spam the algorithm. So we're going to tell you it is not a variable in the algorithm. And that is probably an absolutely true statement. I had previously said it does influence ranking. And Google's response was it's not in the algorithm. By the way, those are two entirely different topics. Whether it influences ranking, there are factors outside of the algorithm that influence ranking. So what we have to do is understand what Google is saying. They're saying, don't run out and sign up with the BBB. Don't manipulate the BBB. Don't spam the BBB. However, there is something that Google has called Google Local Services. Used to be Google Home Services, they changed the name. But Google Local Services, you will periodically see, if you search for air conditioning companies near me, many times you're going to see a product line appear in the top of the search results, which are Google Local Listings. It's a directory. And under each one, you'll see 3 or 4 of them, depends on if you're desktop or not. And it'll say Google Guaranteed. That's one of the ways you can tell that is happening. And if you click through and look at the Google Local Services entries, they actually have the BBB rating on each of them. Now, to me, that says Google has a feed from the Better Business Bureau. They consider it important enough to put it in a search result. And yes, I believe it influences trust. And trust, Google will also say, is not an algorithm variable. Right? Expertise, authority, and trust, those are not algorithm variables. Those are determinations that artificial intelligence makes about your site that influences ranking. That doesn't say it's in the algorithm. So I believe the Better Business Bureau is not an algorithmic variable, but it does influence ranking at a trust level. So if and by the way, we actually had a case of this. We had a company that was in the UK, they moved into the US. They were just getting started and they didn't have a good, strong marketing program. And they sold a product that was almost disposable. It's like wear once or twice clothing, right? Everybody understands that's sort of a fad. You layer and you throw it away if you don't like it. And that's the way life is. And so they were getting eaten alive in the Better Business Bureau because their product didn't last for 5 years. Well, they basically said our product won't last. Our product is wear once product. Very inexpensive, wear it, it works great. Maybe you can wear it again, maybe you can wear it again. You wash it 5 times, it fell apart. And they say that, but they got eaten alive in the Better Business Bureau. The UK site didn't have that problem. The US site did. The Better Business Bureau rated them an F. They had all these complaints and they couldn't rank worth anything with exactly the same content, US versus UK. So My opinion is that the Better Business Bureau, if you have negative sentiment, and by the way, sentiment is a very important thing for all inbound links, not just review sites. But if you have negative sentiment about your site, that does impact your trust. And a negative trust can keep you depressed in the search results. So I guess I have to come back to a different question. Why in the world wouldn't you solve that Better Business Bureau problem? I mean, it's a review site at the very least. It is certainly going to bias a user. It can show up in the search results on its own merit. I would think you want to fix the Better Business Bureau. You want to be an A+ rating. You want to do the best you can at all times with it. And do I believe it's a trust signal? Yes, I believe it's a trust signal. Is it in the algorithm? No. Google says it's not in the algorithm. Search Engine Journal says it's not in the algorithm because Google said it wasn't in the algorithm. That doesn't mean it's unimportant. That's my take. Google clearly has page experience. They clearly have your money or your life. They clearly consider trust to be vital. There's no way they can take a feed from the Better Business Bureau and totally disregard it. That's my take. If it were my search engine, I would consider it. But I do understand why Google wouldn't tell everybody to run out and pay the Better Business Bureau for a rating.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's a good question. I think you made a good point because that was kind of my thought on it, is that even if it doesn't affect SEO whatsoever, I still think it would be a good idea to be in good standing with the BBB. Even if it doesn't affect your rankings at all, it seems like that still is a trust signal to the users and your potential customers and clients, that if you have a really poor rating but a high ranking, that might come back to bite you. So again, even if there is no correlation, which sounds like there is, just maybe not as direct as we think, I still would be in good standing with the BBB.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
If you want to ask Bruce Clay your SEO question, head on over to seotraining.com/pages/webinar and register to join our next live webinar with the Father of SEO himself. It's completely free and allows you to get the SEO insights you need for your website. So sign up today so you don't miss out.